No fewer than 426 women leaders drawn from various zones and branches of Nasrullah Fatih Society (NASFAT) participated in the 2026 NASFAT Women Leadership Training, organized by the NASFAT National Women Management Committee in collaboration with the AVEC Leadership Academy. The three-day leadership program themed Empowered with Purpose, Building Capacity, Character and Accountability in the NASFAT Women was designed to equip participants with practical leadership skills, strengthen their capacity for service, and promote values that will enhance their contributions to NASFAT and national development. Delivering her opening address, the National Women Leaders Secretary, Alhaja Ganiyat Omowumi Babalola, emphasized that every Muslim leader must be guided by piety, integrity, and accountability.
Leadership is not merely occupying a position. Leadership is service. It is respect for others. It is showing consideration, understanding people's actions before judging them, and choosing compassion over criticism. Leadership means offering support without waiting to be invited. It means having the courage to contribute ideas, even when others do not immediately agree. As leaders and women, we must try to involve people who inspire trust through our character, uphold accountability in our responsibilities, and demonstrate excellence in all that we do.
We are different ages, from different backgrounds. There is no way we will think as alike. So please, let us respect everyone's opinion. Meanwhile, we should try and keep our sleeping environment as well as the training environment. Let us keep this tidy.
The first facilitator, Alhaji Raji Abdulgani, NASFAT National Dawa Officer and Secretary of Mission Board, challenged participants to cultivate good character worthy of emulation. He stressed that effective leadership begins with personal discipline and moral uprightness while engaging participants in practical leadership exercises aimed at reinforcing the day's lessons.
Learn to volunteer. You may not be a member of any committee, but volunteer to do something. You learn. Wallahi, that is something that I cultivated a long time ago. I always want to be part of, even as a classroom teacher, I want to be part of whatever that I'm doing. And that thing has remained with me even till now. Because I see that as an opportunity for me to learn from somebody. You can't experience all the things that you need to experience in life, but you need to share from the experiences of some people, the skills of some people, the leadership of some people. Volunteer. Work with your current leaders. Work with them. So a peaceful organization is not one without disagreement. You are a leader and you have not been able to multiply yourself. You have not been able to replicate yourself. You are just a positional leader.
Another facilitator, Professor Lukman Adedeji,
described leadership as a sacred trust from Almighty Allah, explaining that true leadership goes beyond occupying positions of authority. According to the facilitator, it requires vision, selfless service, compassion, accountability, and the ability to build trust among followers.
When you talk about leadership, you are talking about a vision, you are talking about service, you are talking about compassion, and you are talking about building trust. And I also told them about being a servant leader. As the prophet said, that Sayyidu Likawmin Khadimu, whoever is appointed as a leader is a servant to the people. Therefore, you must possess certain qualities that will make you a good leader. Qualities like integrity, like humility, like compassion, and so on and so forth. So, to build a leader, we look at it from the Islamic point of view. If we are able to follow the Islamic principles of leadership, definitely will be the best leader.
In our presentation, Alhaja Ayepola Bilikis Murenike, a social development expert, delivered an insightful lecture on modesty and Islamic dressing. She encouraged participants to uphold the principles of modesty in both appearance and conduct.
And today we are talking about modesty in our dressing, modesty in the present day and how Islam expect us to go with the trend of things. We're looking at modesty in our speech, modesty in our dressing, modesty in our conduct at social gathering, and also modesty on the social media, that's our online presence. Today, we've been able to establish and communicate to our mothers, our leaders, our sisters there that it's important for us to watch our tongues and ensure that our tongue does not pierce through people's hearts or make them feel bad or sad, not even to bring tears into their eyes.
while cautioning them to guard their speech and use social media responsibly in ways that project positive values and uphold the image of Islam.
Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is tasteless and discourage us. Again, we've also said, as Muslims, we should mind our online presence, use it to project positivity, use it to promote Islam, and watch our appearance and rebroadcasting attitude. And also, when we're talking about the social gathering, we should not allow culture and social pressure to push us away from what is halal to haram. This is very important for Muslim women to watch the trend of makeup setting, gele setting, and the ease of doing away with their hijab because they want to flow with trend of things.
The second day of the leadership training featured engaging lectures by the NASFAT Chief Missioner, Imam Abdul Aziz Maruf Onike, who spoke extensively on the qualities of effective leadership. He emphasized that a good leader must possess integrity, vision, humility, and the ability to delegate responsibilities effectively in order to achieve organizational goals.
One of the great quality of a good leader is to be able to delegate. To be able to delegate. I would have shown you a video, it's a 9-minute video. A captain, a ship captain, he was the one cleaning the ship. He was the one holding this. He was doing all the things. The man said, I'm not impressed with your heart. You cannot delegate. No, that's the wrong statement. You can't do everything. You can't do everything.
I noticed that leadership is not all about age, maturity. Anybody can step.
Being responsible regardless of your age. Collective accountability. Now, a leader does not wait to be appointed.
That will match.
If you see someone that needs attention, you initiate and
Another facilitator, Mr. Jamiu Akombi, delivered a lecture on budgeting and financial discipline, stressing that every successful leader must prepare and manage a budget driven by purpose, good intentions, and discipline. He also encouraged participants to fulfill their civic responsibilities, including the regular payment of taxes as part of responsible leadership.
Let us do it because we have an agency that is overseeing our activities beyond NASFAT. NASFAT kò kì í ṣèjọ abẹ́ẹ̀dé, it's an international recognized institution now. Bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ gba police agencies. So if you are telling you something, bó ṣe pé ìfẹ́ mú wa láti ń sọ, pẹ̀lú bó ṣe ń pé àwọn agencies tó ń wá sí wa, this is what they wanted. You cannot bend it. So please, don't do penny wise pounds foolish approach, engage people that are supposed to be engaged. So that at the end of the day, you all have value, you all have respect. Investments that will do, that will put you to a satisfactory situation for this. Ẹ̀kọ́ owó sí pọ́lísì, ẹ̀rí tí èyí rẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́. Ẹ̀yẹ́ tó bá lówó yẹn ta, wàhálà ni ọkọ̀ olè balẹ̀ slap communities. If you have a joint venture, we are káràkátà, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ business, ìbá ìgbìmọ̀ sílẹ̀, ìbá ìgbìmọ̀ àìrán business yẹn successfully, at the end of the day, have a good profit. Pàlẹ̀ wọ́n profit yẹn náà, ọkọ̀ wá balẹ̀. Do anything, any investment that you cannot really ascertain. Okay, bàbá ta ilé, ọba ìlàmàrí inú ẹ̀. Run away from it, because at the end of the day, hopefully.
The final session of the second day focused on entrepreneurship.
Dr. Miriam Dajumo
Encouraged participants to identify challenges within their communities and develop practical solutions through innovation and enterprise. She also highlighted the importance of teamwork and the division of labor as essential ingredients for productivity, sustainable
I came
development.
to talk to the women about entrepreneurship, even people that have regular jobs, and they can create something. They can solve a problem based on what they like doing, a skill that they have, or a need in their society. That 9 to 5 jobs can sometimes be a trap, and creating something can, of course, allow them to have more income. They have more independence. When they finally retire, there is something to go back to. And of course, while thinking as entrepreneurs, they should remember that Allah said He has created us to worship Him. And of course, they should make sure that in business they take into consideration Islamic ethical values like trust, like honesty, like integrity, and making sure that the businesses that they're engaged in is halal.
The final day of the training featured interactive sessions and practical workshops centered on personal development, effective communication, emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, and ethical leadership. Participants were actively engaged in discussions and practical exercises designed to enhance their leadership competencies.
Training is not something that should be left out of any organization. Training is key. Training is important because the only way we can get better when we do things is when we train ourselves. So, what the women of NASFAT are doing for these 3 days is to build women capacity to ensure that the women get better their in their activities as they take the society forward.
Google. So that you don't even need to be typing your email address. Just register with Google. So it will just help you put your Google details. Have we downloaded Canva? And then you see Canva. So you see what we will design today. So what you have copied from your meta, you can now paste it there.
Our topic is financial responsibility, the concept of amana. So let's start with what is amana. Amana means trust, honesty, and loyalty. Integrity in financial dealings. Build trust, protect one's reputation.
Modesty means higher. It means being in moderate and avoid excessive dressing.
To encourage brotherhood in Islam. That's social growth, economic growth, spiritual growth, and personal growth.
Award of recognition and certificates of participation were presented to all participants in appreciation of their commitment to the program.
يا حي يا قيوم أنا لا إله إلا الله يا حي يا قيوم أنا لا ọba tí kò pé méjì yá حي يا قيوم أنا لا kò pé méjì kò pé mẹ́ta yá حي يا قيوم أنا لا ọba láyé yá حي يا قيوم alala olúwa àtẹ̀pẹ́ ya ayò ya qayyum alala ọ̀la dọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ ya ayò ya qayyum alala.
Speaking at the end of the training, several participants described the program as impactful, inspiring, and transformational. They reaffirmed their commitment to applying the knowledge and leadership principles acquired during the 3-day program in strengthening NASFAT, empowering their communities, and serving humanity with integrity, purpose, and excellence.
This is a very, very, very good initiative for women in Islam, that leadership is a calling and leadership is an amana.
We need the leadership because interacting with each other, communication, relating is about communicating. And when you communicate, most times we don't communicate to really understand what we are saying. And the best way you can be a good leader is when you have the skill.
So to know what it takes to be a leader. Because we can't just be a leader without knowing what we are doing, without knowing how to carry along our followers.
Before now, most of us would think leadership is by position. If you don't belong to one position, you're not a leader. But with this conference, we're able to know that leadership is not when you have position. You can lead at any given time. That is allowed that ordain you as a leader.
To learn, we learn, unlearn. So, as we have been here, we have been taught so many things.
The training has been impactful. It has actually built our morale to become a good leader in the future. And of course, in our respective zone, in our respective branches, the take home of this training has also equipped a lot of us, to be more effective in what we do.
We're able to learn from what we came here to do is amana, trust,